Alright guys, what's going on? Chili Games back again, and I'm finally feeling better. But today we have a gameplay. We just got the Weimar, and I had my suspicions about the ship. You guys know how much I love the Munchen, or the München. I'm just gonna say it, this ship is pretty overpowered. I seriously don't understand how it came into the game as strong as it is. When we first got that infographic, and it showed that it had a 5-second reload on these guns, which are the German 150s, which get the 1/4 pin. So you can technically pin 37, 37 millimeters of armor. And with this build, I'm running Mueller, and I have an 11% fire chance, and pretty much just running the offensive build like I do. I am running Beyond Range, and let's see. I think I'm running Einstein and Scott as my inspirations. They were just on there. And again, this is my first game in it, so I was like, you know what? The potential for this ship to be good is there. We're just going to have to see. And I was playing it, I was definitely playing it a little bit, I would say, passive, especially for this first game. Just because I wanted to stick around, I wanted to survive the whole match, and I wanted to be able to actually get a feeling for the ship and not just die. But I've played about 10 games in it so far, and they have done nothing but just cement my fact of just saying this ship is broken. If you are good with cruisers and you understand concealment and island cover, the DPM this ship can put out is just absolutely ridiculous. Like it is stock. The AP damage is 540k. That's obviously the theoretical. But if you do run a full reload build with Minbelly and refill station, you can get the AP DPM over 700,000, which is just ridiculous. And again, the HE DPM isn't that great on paper because obviously your HE I think it's 1700, so your standard just not great HE values. But when you have this penetration and you can consistently pin so many things, you're going to find that you're going to be chunking pretty much everything for about 3 to 5k. Obviously, saturation can become an issue, but I think the best way to put this is, if you guys remember when EOP wasn't nerfed, it was essentially, so when Cleveland came out, they had nerfed EOP slightly. All it did was take off like 2% fire chance, which still meant that Cleveland retained a ton of fire capability, and also you can start to pin things like 32 millimeters of plating. That's what this feels like. This DPM feels like old pre-nerf EOP Cleveland, and it's at tier 6. So this thing can face tier 5 ships. I don't know what to say. It's broken. It is so broken. If you know how to play and you're in positions where people can't shoot back at you and you're able to use your full DPM, there's just nothing like anyone can do. And I think the Munchen was strong. Even though it had 8 guns, I always thought the Munchen was strong just because you had the penetration, your AP was good, and you had the rate of fire. This essentially is the same thing, but instead of 8 guns, it's 12, and it's just ridiculous. Like, it is truly ridiculous. Again, we're not doing much here. I don't want to get into an engagement with a Cleveland, a Bismarck, and a Helena. So I'm playing it somewhat safe, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to work across to the other spawn. Oh, I was going to try and farm this Colorado, if I'm going to be completely honest. But I want to get into a place where I can catch that incoming spawn with some island cover, because again, the only caveat to this thing having just insane DPM is obviously it is a York hull, which means your survivability is not the greatest, but the firing angles and the shell arcs are so good, you can play this thing just like Cleveland. I mean, you can play it in the exact same spots, and you're just going to be able to rain down so much damage. It's just crazy. And if you do it right, there's going to be nothing left to charge after you once your position has been compromised. It gets slow here, and honestly, I think that's what makes this game so crazy. Is yes, this was my first game, but we hit over 220,000 damage in this game, and that just solidifies how much damage you can pump out. Because again, the second quarter of this game was me just not being able to shoot anything at all. I mean, we're at 60k damage now, and a lot happens in about 2 minutes. The Cleveland shooting at me, I'm not even trying to bother. I want to help this spawn kind of clean up so that we can catch the Bismarck, the Colorado, and all the other ships, you know, in a better spot. But you're just going to start seeing this ship just pump out so much damage, whether that be fires, whether that be pin damage. And it's just nuts. I really didn't get a chance to use the AP too much in this game. It does happen, and you will see it. But, I mean, instantly double fire, you know, it is just crazy. The only reason why I switched away from them was that I noticed the torpedoes were coming, so the Monarch is going to die. And it was at this point in time where I noticed the Bismarck and coming through that strait over there, and we're in a pretty good spot. So as long as I stay somewhat angled to the Azuma, and I'm trying to put that island in front of there, which I think we just did. So once we see the Bismarck, Cleveland's not a bother. Cleveland's trying to shoot at us at like 18 kilometers. If he hits us, it's not going to be anything too crazy. So now we're in a position where we can just kind of park and we can kind of just farm this Bismarck. And you're going to see the fire chance and the HE pin come into play here, and it's just going to be nuts. Instantly set a fire. I don't know what to say, guys. I mean, this ship wholeheartedly has my approval. I just think it's a little bit too overpowered. I mean, in a good player's hands, there's just... I don't know what you can do against this thing. I mean, this is literally Cleveland... This is old Cleveland DPM with torps at tier 6. I really don't... I mean, it's been hilarious playing it. It has been just beyond crazy. Again, Bismarck's on a triple fire. We can switch over to the Colorado now. This is where I switched the AP. This is so strong. I mean, it is ungodly strong. I mean, we just hit the 100K mark, and again, you see the HE hit there for almost 3K. We didn't get a fire, but you're going to see the AP doing some wonders here. I have some better clips of it, or I had some better in my games, but I didn't get them clipped. We have a Witherer now. I was rushing a Normandy at about 4 kilometers or so. With just the front turrets, I did over 8,500 damage with the AP. Like, it is seriously nuts what this can do. And again, you know, every time you shoot the HE, you're going to get at least, you know, 2,000 damage and a fire, if not more. So, guys, it's nuts. If you like the Munchen, if you like the Cleveland, I really think this might be your ship. And I don't usually like... I've been a little bit more cautious about recommending ships. But, I mean, this ship has just blown me away. The things that this ship can do, and the best part about it is, since it's at tier 6, you're either up-tiered, you're either facing tier 6s, which you do really well against, and you just smack tier 5. But the German light cruisers go up to tier 7 so well because of that HE penetration. Once you can carry over the fire chance, and again, like, we just hit that Azuma for 5K. Like, that is nuts. Like, you can do that to almost anything in the game. Another 3K in a fire. All we have to do is make sure we stay angled here. I mean, every time we're shooting the guns, this guy is losing a significant part of his health, and it is nuts. And this is when I saw the Zara coming around here, so we're kind of going to be able to abuse Azuma's long reload here, and we get behind the island, so we break contact. He doesn't see us anymore. Already at 169,000 damage, 12 fires, 300 shell hits. We already have the high cal Confederate Witherer. Again, just fire after fire. They use the damage con. You have more fires. And like every time I shoot the guns, you just see like the penetrations and the shatters there. It is just so much consistent damage. And I didn't really know where to aim at for the Zara here. I am aiming waterline. I feel like I would have gotten better results if I was aiming probably deck level, just because I feel like the dispersion's a little bit wonky, which the dispersion is a little bit wonky. I think I mean, it feels that way with the Munchin as well. But for the most part, guys, I mean, we kind of just shredded that guy. Obviously, we had a lot of help from our friendly Kansas, but there just wasn't much that guy could do. And we're almost hitting the 200,000 mark. And again, this is my first game, and I waited to make this commentary after I played about 10 games in it, because I just wanted to see, because, there's a lot of ships in this game that can do really well farming damage off of targets with the right, like, matchmaking, all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, okay, the potential for this ship to do good is there, because I just had a 220k game, but I have to see if it's consistent, because that's really where I lie at. I really don't like recommending ships unless it's consistent. So I think this ship checks all the boxes for me, guys. I don't know. It's probably going to be my favorite for a while. And I'm curious to see if they're going to be able to do anything in terms of nerfing this thing, because I think the 5-second reload is just way too strong. I mean, the build that I'm running now with refill station is 4.7 seconds on the reload. So it's just funny that they nerf the Cleveland a smidge, and then they're like, oh, here's the German cousin at tier 6. This is nuts. And what really scares me is I have the mines on PC, and I figured out that I was like top 30 on the NA server with the mains, or the mines, however you want to say it. And the DPM that the Weimar has on Legends is better than the DPM that the mines has on PC. And that's really scary, because the mines is really, really scary on the PC version. So it really worries me how strong the mines is going to be, because obviously the mines is going to come to Legends, and it's going to be tier 7. So essentially it's going to be this, but with reload mod and heals, and probably like a handful of 20 mil plating or 25 millimeter plating. So guys, I don't know what to say. I mean, this is the gameplay. You can make whatever you want from it, but for me to just go out and do this like first game and just rip it out, and then the next 10 games, I think the first couple, I mean, there was obviously some games that we lost, and there was some games that just ended fast, but I easily think I was averaging over 150k damage just easily. I mean, tier 7, it shreds, because you have the 37 millimeter pin. Most things are going to be 32. You have all the fire chance in the world, so you burn everything. You do damage to everything. It's actually really decent. Really decent. I would say, actually, no, that's a pretty good way to say it. It's really decent versus destroyers, because obviously the HE DPM isn't the best, but you have so many barrels to shoot. And you also have the German Hydro as well. So the 5.4 ship detection, it makes for a pretty good destroyer hunter. And we didn't get these, the torpedoes, but it is 4x3, just like on the York, and they have really good angles like you saw in the beginning. But as we get to snipe this Cleveland, that's going to be it, guys. I don't know what to say. And I mean, this was the first game. I had waited all night for this, and I was immediately on Discord like, this is broken. I had about 3,600 base XP. I think I'm going to throw up a screenshot at the end of this commentary. But yeah, we made 1 million credits, almost 4,000 gold XP, 221,000 damage, 15 fires. Guys, the Weimar is no joke. It is It's broken. I can't lie. It's broken. Anyways, guys, y'all take it easy, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.